Beautiful spring seeds for soaking. Look at this. Talk about privacy. Hello, my darling. Hello, Venus. This is where they like their little sun bath. And a little dirt bath over here with Dima and Erithe. Excuse me, girls. Nothing in here today. Shlaha. Shlaha in the oranges. So, I've got right into it. Oops. Broccolini, rapini, mizuna, red Russian kale. What have we got up there? Regular kale. I've planted some rocket seeds. All in this tiny little space. You'll be surprised at how beautiful and luscious this will become. So, I was asked the question, am I actually sleeping out in the stables here? These are the stables. But no, I'm not actually sleeping out in the stables. I'm sleeping in my grandmother's sunroom. She's got this amazing sunroom, and off the end of it she has a study that I sleep in. Really old bunk bed. I was actually sleeping on the bottom bunk, but I kept, because the two beds are so low, I've been scraping my knees on these old springs and they scratch. Really hard springs. And you know, it's important for me to still have my space. I mean, my grandmother, she's asked me several times if I want to sleep inside the house, and I don't. You know, I need my space. I need my privacy. Not that I really need my privacy around my grandmother, but I need my space. You know, and the reason why I love the stables is, you know, I can have my circle out here. I can do my rituals. I can do spellcraft. I can do what it is that I do. And straight away, the first day, like literally, I'm out here planting these seedlings that I've had growing from seed for months out at Elnor. And I started planting them the first day that I was here. So we've got crop to eat, all of us. Grandmother and chickens and me. And even my family if they want to eat it. As in my mother and father when they come over. But my mother is also a gardener like me, so she often has her own vegetables. She had the most amazing broccoli this year, like huge, it's big as my head. So I'm not sleeping out in the stables, but I love being out here because listen to it, look at the sky. It's beautiful, it's secluded, it's private, and I can garden out here. My grandmother is a huge gardener, or at least she was back in her day, and I know she gets very frustrated with not being able to get out and garden. So she knows I'm gardening out here, but I don't tell her about it every day because I don't want to kind of rub it in that I'm out gardening every day. So when these are ready to eat, I'll just pick them for her and she can eat them. And we can eat it together. You know, so I guess there's a lot of things about getting older, living with an ancient person. I actually think I might cover that in another video. Living with an ancient person and how their perspective on life changes. Hi, Dima. Because everything changes. when you get older and you view life very differently, with an enormously different perspective, and it's very thought-provoking. You know, my grandmother is not a young grandmother; she's almost 100, so she's coming to the close of her physical incarnation around Earth. I mean, I don't know. She may have another 20 years in her. I have no idea, but her neighbor up the road, he's 102. So there's a lot of old people around here, and they've lived their life on the land. My grandmother used to have horses. They used to have a big property, and they trained trotting horses. And these were the stables. But now the girl Andulairah and Dima are living here. And it's beautiful. And you know, I keep saying, it is what you make it, it is what you make it. I could leave these, but why would I? It's earth, it's space, and I can grow the most gorgeous produce here. Dima agrees with me, don't you, Dima? So that's what I'm doing. I've got those spring seeds soaking. Although we had a frost this morning, I'm hoping we're almost at our last frost. And I can plant okra, cucumber, tomatoes. And it's very sheltered here. The thing is about my old place at El Nor is that we were thrashed with winds every day, almost every day. You know, the ridiculous type. And that's why, after I bought the property, I come to realize that I was in a very windy place because of all the wind farms on the mountains, on the hills. And the plants absolutely copped a beating, and although they adjust, it's very hard, especially for little ones. These little ones could not take it, and you know, they would have a very tough time trying to, you know, rise to their potential, really. So it's lovely. And here actually it's 200 meters below where I used to live. So plants that I could not grow at El Nor, I could actually try growing here. Things like hibiscus, which always died off in the summer, frangipanis, which I love frangipanis, love the smell. So all these things, many things that I couldn't grow, I could try growing here. I've cut back some old dead vines next to that jade over there, and I have been burning a lot of old wood that's just been lying around for 100,000 years. So haven't been down the shop today. I have been doing a lot of website work, gardening, but I'll be going down there tonight to do some more painting. And I know the water is actually being put in there, and I'm not sure if the leaser guy is finished, but I guess I'll find out soon enough. So yeah. Have to try and make it chicken proof. I'm just finding whatever is lying around here in the stables. I do have chicken wire in rolls, but I kind of want to use what I'm seeing around here first. So, I actually thought it would be a good idea. Sorry, just gonna get my black musk fix for today. Today I'm wearing black musk. This is on my website. For those of you that love gorgeous musk, this is a very rich, deep, dark, musky smell. I rub it all over my clothes, on my neck. So anyway, what I was saying is what I thought was a good idea is, and I've run it by my grandmother, I thought it would be a good idea after, me talking in the garden about her and living with an ancient person, to get her perspective on life at her age, 95. I'm fascinated by old people, at this age, because they've experienced a life so far removed from our own. And especially my grandmother, she was brought up on the land. They would have had hardly, I don't even think they had electricity back then. She often talks about life before refrigeration, the things they used, going in on a Friday with their gloves, their hats, their starch collars. You had to be well-to-do. And when I look at old pictures back in the day, they were exceptionally well-dressed. They were very, everyone was handsome, everyone was gorgeous. And I'm so inspired by that. And now we all get around in trackies and, Adidas. I know a lot of people put in effort, but I'm not seeing it much around here. Not like it used to be. No one's wearing gloves and things. Obviously, it's a different era, a different time. Times have changed. But my grandmother, she often talks about the old days. And I love that. I love to sit and listen to her. And I had the idea, I said to her, why don't you come on my YouTube channel and give us some tips? Give us younger generations some tips of living to a ripe old age. And, talk about if you have any regrets in life or, your life back then. Like 5 things. And in the beginning, she thought it was a great idea, and then she thought about it, and then she's like, does that mean I have to put my face on a picture? I said, no, I film with this phone. She's like, oh, well, how do you do that with this? So, I'm trying to explain to her how it works. And now she's a little apprehensive about it. And she said, I need time to think about it. I said, look, even if you don't want to go online, like with your face, I can always have your voice and point the camera either to me or, I don't know, to the door or something. I don't know. She's now a little bit apprehensive about it, but I thought it was a great idea because there's a lot of people in the world, that are starting out in their life in this crazy, maddening world. And a lot of people are lost. A lot of people don't know where to go, what to do. And I don't know, talking to an old person, they're, coming to the end of their life, their physical life here on the earth, and everything changes for them. They don't have that same ambitious drive to get rich and be successful. At this time in their life, they're more about the reflection and being at peace and coming, to a peace with themselves and their decisions and doing things, that they love to do. I mean, I live like that. Like I live, with doing those things that I love. But, I'm still young. But as an old person, I don't think they care so much about money, possessions, things, things that perhaps we think are important in at this age. They don't think it's so important anymore. And, so I think it's fascinating to get another perspective. Actually, something that my cousin told me that I did not know. In this area over 100 years ago, like, so what are we, 2021? Got an eyelash in my eye. 2021. Back in 1912, so over 100 years ago, I had a great maybe grandfather that actually had a store on the main street of where I'm putting my store, and he had a cash and carry store. And what actually happened was that he was getting burgled. Someone was breaking in at night, and what the burglar was doing was lifting up one of this corrugated iron sheet stuff and slipping through the roof and going in there at 1 or 2 in the morning. Well, my great grandfather knew something was amiss, and one night he decided to stay awake with his double-barrel shotgun. So anyway, he waited there in the dark. He could hear the roof being unhinged. Someone was coming in. He waited in the dark, saw this, dark shadow at the cash register, pointed his double-barrel shotgun, and just said, "Don't move or I'm going to blow your fucking brains out." And anyway, this burglar was caught, and I don't know what they did with him. I think he went to jail, and he had stolen food. I actually think he worked for my great-great-grandfather. He worked for him, but he went in at night and stole stuff. He had food. He had gelignite, which is dynamite. He had a sawn-off shotgun. He had homemade bullets, gunpowder. I think he had rice. He had some tin stuff, and he had some money. I don't know how they count it, but shillings or pounds. So I've talked about my family being gunslingers for many years. It seems that great-great-great-grandfather was a bit of a gunslinger back in his day as well. And yeah, I just find it a little bit surreptitious that I am now opening a store on this same street, not in the same store itself, but on that same street over 100 years later. Life is so strange, and I had no idea until my cousin called me, and she said, "Cousin, did you have any idea that our great-great-great-grandfather had actually owned a store?" And I'm like, "No." She showed me the picture of the store, cash and carry. So anyway, if you have any questions you want to ask my grandmother, it may encourage her to do this, to talk. There's actually another lady in town. There's actually a lot of people in town that are almost 100. There's one guy up the road who's 102. There's another lady who's related to me who's 96. She's not my grandmother, but she's my cousin's grandmother. And you see them on their little gophers going down to the street, to the main street to do some shopping. My grandmother does. It's cute, and it definitely gives you a different perspective. I help her get the gopher out. I open the gate for her. I help her reverse it. We're getting into a nice little routine, and it just gives you a different perspective on life. And it's nice. It's really nice to experience something different through the eyes of an older person. And my grandmother actually cooked for me last night, which was very nice. And I offered to help her. She was adamant about doing it all herself, so I let her go. I did the dishes though, and cleaned up, and then went down to the store. See here. So, anyway, if you have any questions to ask my ancient grandmother, any life questions you have burning, let me know, and it might entice her to come online and share her experiences. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we'll see. Because if she doesn't want to show her face, well, and I don't blame her, you know, like, I value my privacy. I'm very private, believe it or not, but I am online. I am public online. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what she says. See what she says.